Welcome. Please like and subscribe for more art content just like this.
Have you ever wondered if you could actually turn your artwork into a full-time career and make really good money off of it? Because I wondered that pretty much my entire life. I'm Natasha. I have been an artist my whole life in so many varying degrees. I did custom cakes for a long time. I did woodworking for a long time. I have painted my whole life here and there. There's a lot of different modalities that I have tried, that I have used, and a couple that thankfully I'm on my way to mastering. So I want to share with you my journey and the struggles that I've gone through during my journey, as well as the highlights. So we're going to go through lows, we're going to go through highs. Again, my name is Natasha. Welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy more art content like this, and if you enjoy YouTube tips and tricks and quick little videos to kind of elevate your art and your work that you're doing. One of the things that I would like to mention is that I did not get to the point of creating art like this on my own. There's no way I could have done it on my own. I have read books, I have taken tons of YouTube free classes, and lately, in the last couple years, or last year and a half, I have really dug into the Milan Art Institute instructions, and that is when, as soon as I took one of their classes, I actually got into my first gallery 3 months later with a painting like of the first person I've ever painted, which I'll show you guys here. I didn't know I could paint people, and the only reason I painted a person like that is because I had that instruction to do it. Otherwise, it would have looked like a stick figure in a blob. I specialize in animals, not people. But after I took that one class, I got into a gallery 3 months later based on one 3-hour class where I put everything that I learned in there, and a few of the tidbits that I've learned elsewhere into like 5 or 6 paintings that this gallery owner was very interested in having. So I will preach all day the Milan Art Institute if you like that style, if you like this style, and if you want to elevate your artwork. Is a really good investment for time and for money. And for time, they have a free YouTube channel that you can go to that I will link below, and they have free masterclasses on there that you can watch. I watched a lot of those over the last year and a half as well, and I have learned so much from them. So along with their masterclasses that I have taken, I've taken quite a few of them at this point, and that's what's helped me elevate to this point as well, and to sell a lot more paintings. Before, I had never really sold a painting before. Like, I'd given them to family and friends and stuff, and they're like, oh, this is really nice, thank you so much. But I had not elevated it to the point that I'm at now, and I couldn't have done it without those master classes. So for my style and for what I want to learn and the palpable education that I know that I need, the Milan Art Institute is what's right for me. So I'm going to link their stuff below so that you guys have a good idea of what you can learn, if you choose to even check their YouTube channel out and go to their free masterclasses. They also have paid masterclasses. I'm going to link a couple of those below too that I've personally taken, that I, vouch for 100%. I also enrolled in the mastery program that they have. If you are really getting serious and really want to do it and can invest yourself, can invest your time and can invest a little bit of money into this. If you're really serious about it, I would absolutely recommend it. I am 2 months in now, almost 3. So 2 months, almost 3 months into this 1-year program, and I have learned more in the last 2 months, like collectively, than I think that I have learned over the last 5 years as far as art goes, which just absolutely blows my mind. And I'm not spending 40 hours a week on it. I'm spending like 15. And it is practical, it's palpable. You can utilize all of these tools that they are sharing with you, all of these tips and tricks to just elevate yourself and elevate your artwork, and also find your inner voice. And that's a huge part of their program too, is finding your inner voice and finding out how your art is going to speak to the art community, art collectors. So I vouch for them 100%. Check them out below. I couldn't have gotten to this point without them, so I'm very grateful for their program. For me, it's worked for me very great. So one of the biggest challenges that I was faced with in my art career, which I'm sure that you have probably been faced with too, is self-doubt. There is a lot of self-doubt when it comes to art, because sometimes you create something and you're like, that is the ugliest pile of crap that I've ever seen in my life. How? I was trying to do something else. How did it even turn out like this? And I want you to know that for every successful painting you have, you're probably going to have an unsuccessful painting. And the good thing about paintings is you can paint right over them. You can paint right over a canvas and start fresh. I have done that before. I've painted something and been like, that is gross. No. And then I have painted over it and I've created something new from it. So there is a lot of self-doubt when it comes to that. Also, people are really good at devaluing themselves. So when you create a piece of art, you are going to look at it and you are going to be able to nitpick every little thing that you don't like about that piece of art. You're going to know every moment that you struggled on every part of that canvas, and you are the only one that knows that. Your art collector, whoever's purchasing your art, has no idea, and they don't think the same way that you do. They're not going to see all those little moments that you struggled, and they're not going to see all those moments where you were like, oh my gosh, that's really ugly, I don't really like that part of it. They're going to see the painting as a whole, and also something that you might not really love on there or feel a little bit iffy about, that might speak to them, and they might look at it and go, oh my gosh, I love that, you know, part of the painting essentially. So it's very important when you start out to get rid of your self-doubt entirely. And that is no easy task. The best way to do that is to get into your right brain. We want to get out of our analytical left brain, because when we're in our left brain, we are going, okay, perfection. Everything has to be perfect. Period. End of story, right? Once you switch into your right brain, everything has to be expressive. That's it. Everything has to be expressive. You get out of the perfection mode and you get into expressive mode, and if you have an expressive painting, you're going to win 10 times out of 10. If it is expressive, you are going to win. There's no such thing as a perfect painting. Nobody has ever made one before. So please don't hold yourself to an impossible standard, because otherwise you will literally never get started. Another struggle that I see people struggle with, that I've personally struggled with as well, is having the finances to get what you want, to make what you want. Canvases are not super cheap. These larger ones are not very cheap. Paint is not very cheap. If you are getting like craft paint, you're not getting a decent enough quality of paint to do something really, really cool, because the pigments aren't going to be as great. They're not going to last as long. You're going to have issues if you go with like the cheap craft paint. If that's where you can start with, then start somewhere. That's fine. You will still sell them, but if you want to elevate to the next level, go with like the most inexpensive, like base level artist, true artist paint that you can afford. One of the things that I tell people too is oils are an investment. Acrylics are really a great place to start, because they do not cost as much when you are starting with acrylics. They really don't. And all you need to do is have water and brushes and paper towels, and then your paint. And you don't need that many colors of paint, because if you have your primary colors, white and black, you are actually set to do pretty much any painting. The others are just luxury, right? So if you only have a little bit to invest in yourself, go with smaller canvases. Get like the pack of canvases that you can get from craft stores or online that are pretty inexpensive. Make sure that you look for sales and things like that, and start in acrylics. Once you have a little bit more money to put forward towards it, you can kind of delve into oils a little bit, but you have to make sure that you have solvents, you have to have cotton rags, you have to have I clean my brushes with Dawn soap, so you don't have to do anything super crazy as far as cleaning goes, but you can use Murphy oil soap too to clean them. And oil paints can be a little bit more expensive. Oil paints also are, they're natural pigments. They're made with like linseed oil or walnut oil is what their medium is that they're mixed with. Those pigments are mixed with, and so they also take a longer time to dry. So your time investment is going to go up, and your financial investment is going to go up when you start to play with oils. They are super fun. I would recommend them, but don't put the cart in front of the horse, if you know what I mean. Like, start where it makes sense for you. One other financial tip that I recommend is if you are doing commissioned projects, ask for at least half of the payment up front, and then when you have that payment, then you can go and you can get the couple specific colors that you really want to get, and you can invest a little bit from that payment, and then you can create the art and then collect on the other half on the other side of it too. So that's a good way to do it if you are want to kind of collect and build up slowly. One of the other things I want to talk about is networking. You guys have to get out there. If you're afraid to get out there and if you're afraid to talk to people, you're not going to go anywhere. So if nothing changes, nothing changes. That's one of my favorite phrases. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So you've got to start from inside yourself. Join a local art club, join actually I was talking about the Milan Art Institute earlier. They have a free online community where you can share your artwork and you can get feedback from professional artists and some of the coaches on there and people who have gone through their program too. And there is every style of art on there. You don't have to stick with like an abstract realism style like they specialize in. There's every kind of art on there. There's every kind of artist on there. It's free and it's an app. And if you want to create a little bit more of a community for yourself, that is a great place to start. Local farmers markets are great. Go into local gallery shows. Like my town has a First Friday where all of the art galleries stay open late. And some of the restaurants stay open late, and it's a great place to meet fellow artists, art collectors, and just cool people. So get out there, get your art out there, start talking about yourself. You're important, you're valuable, and so is your artwork. It's important to stick with it. I want to specifically tell you guys to stick with it. I've got ADHD. It's hard for me to stick with things. I am extremely passionate about art, and I have been my entire life. Sticking with this has come naturally easy to me, thankfully. And the more you learn, at least the more that I learn, the more I'm enticed to do more and build more and paint more and do more things and try something new. So if you are feeling like you've only done it for a couple months and you're like, nobody's buying anything, okay, still post it on Instagram, continue to draw, continue to paint, continue to do all the things that make your soul happy. At the end of the day, you are creating art for yourself. It's a self-expression. So don't stop doing that. Even if you do want to eventually become a professional artist and sell and make a really good living off of it, you've got to start somewhere, and you have to start with just expressing yourself, because you're going to express yourself. And if you keep posting on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever it is, if you keep posting, somebody's going to come up to you eventually or send you a message and be like, that speaks to my soul. Can I buy that from you? And it's going to be one of the best days of your life. So if this resonated with you, I'm so grateful. I'm really happy to share my journey, and I'm really excited to see where it ends up going. I'm going to post, continually post more reviews of the Milan Art Institute Mastery Program while continually posting the artwork that I'm making in the meantime. These are not projects for the Mastery Program. This is just something I'm working on the side because I needed a break from the instructional, and I was like, oh, I want to do something fun for myself, and so that is why I am doing these guys here. If you are interested in learning more tips and tricks, I invite you to like and subscribe my channel, because I am also sharing tips and tricks that I have learned over the years through my several different modalities to create beautiful pieces of art like this. My most recent video, the 5 things that every mixed media artist needs to know, is very, very good. I encourage you to check it out. It's another great place to start if you are just kind of starting your art career and you want to know some good things to kind of get you started on the right foot. So that's what I'm here for. I'm grateful for you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.